Some school districts like Westlake and North Olmsted have moved to later start times, and a lot of other districts are talking of moving to later start times. What are your thoughts on a later start time for high school students?
Well, luckily our high school is not as early as a lot of them are. I forget if it's 8 o'clock. It seems like I forget by the time you drop off one child at middle school and then you get over to the high school. But we've never been that really early. I know my niece went at like at 7:15, so I am definitely not for a 7:15 time. And high school kids stay up late, so I would be for a late start time. But I feel like at least we're first period starting at 8 is not too bad. And they're going to see those college classes start at 8 and even earlier. One of my kids had a 7 a.m. class at Ohio State, so I don't think 8's too bad for the world.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, based on the research I've done, it does show that a later start time helps, but what the start time they talk about is in the zone of 8 to 8:30. We currently start our high school at 7:55. So districts that had start times of 7:15 and earlier have found that the later start times have helped. The issue, however, is it's not a decision you can make in a vacuum. Obviously, we have transportation, other school start times, traffic around town, when kids are crossing the streets, after school activities. All of that has to be coordinated with any change in the start time. So might they look at changing it a little bit? We're kind of right in the zone of that 8 to 8:30, but any decision about that would have to be coordinated with all the other issues that would impact in terms of school and school days across the district.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Swartz?
We do right now with our high school, and there is certainly research to indicate that students of that age, adolescents of that age, teenagers, do better with a little bit of a later start because their clocks don't wind down at night as early as people like me. But we do already 1 day a week have what's called to the students late start. It's a professional community day for our teachers and our high school administrators to have various programming that they use on Wednesdays to have an extra hour of planning and interactive time amongst themselves. And the students don't show up until 8:55 rather than 7:55. And they will guard that with their lives. I think once you introduce something like that, you'll never get it back out. If you started the day later, something would have to give. What would probably happen is you'd have extracurricular activities start to meet before school because they've been squeezed out at the end of the day. Because we're not talking about shortening the school day. I don't know where we would pinch off school minutes each day. So if you're starting later, you're ending later. And if you're ending later, then coaches and advisors start looking to before school activities, and then you're right back where you were anyway, for the most part.
Okay, Mr. Zuercher.
Yeah, I know my son appreciates sleeping in every Wednesday morning. It's great for him. It's great for us too. I think that the start time is pretty close to where we want to be. If we pushed it back another 15 minutes or so, yeah, it probably would be. I would go for that.